There's this video making the round where you see American President Donald Trump seated at the Oval Office in the White House with Ukrainian President Zelensky and the American Vice President J.D. Vance. I mean, the video has been making the round in the past 2 days, and I will not go without giving my own take on it. I have to give my own take on this video, my own opinion, and share my own opinion on my own video log. Just take a look at the video.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You
Don't-
will not have
gotta,
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives of
anymore.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What you-
III.
what you
You're
thinking about?
gambling with
What are you
World
thinking
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. It's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
And we're in
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of
Entire meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
are you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Okay, so from this video, you can see that the Ukrainian President Zalensky was invited to the Oval Office in America, in Washington. He honored the invitation. He went. Earlier, there was a video I saw where he highlighted at the White House when he came down and Donald Trump went to receive him. And Donald Trump gave him a jibe right on the spot, like, he's dressed better today. Like, he's dressed better today. They had already started commenting on his costume, the way he dressed, right before he even entered into the Oval Office. Donald Trump had already given him a jibe, like they had already started messing him up the way he dressed. Then I think the next round of videos we started to see were videos where he was seated with Donald Trump and they were talking, and J.D. Vance too was talking. And some of the things that were said in that conversation, it really calls for, it really calls for scrutiny. It was like, in my opinion, it was like they were chiding Zelensky. It was like they were chiding the Ukrainian president. It was like Donald Trump was disparaging him, was putting him down, was more like talking down at him. This is a sovereign country. This is an European nation, a sovereign country. This is the president of an European nation. Donald Trump just seems to want to buy a deal at whatever cost, even if it involves bullying this guy. Now, from that video, you see that J.D. Vance was even referring to the fact that Zelensky, back in November, he came to campaign for their opposition, the Democrats, Kamala Harris. He's saying as Zelensky said thank you to the American people. If Zelensky is to say thank you to the American people, is to say thank you to Joe Biden. But you can even hear Donald Trump. Donald Trump referred to Joe Biden as a stupid president. Donald Trump referred to Joe Biden as a stupid president for to have led 350 billion American dollar shipped to Ukraine in terms of support aid to, in the world. Donald Trump was getting really furious. They were raising their voice. Donald Trump was getting really furious that if it was not because of their country, Russia would have overrun Ukraine in 2 weeks. And Zelensky stood his ground. Zelensky said even if it was in 3 days that since beginning of the war they have stood strong, and the whole thing was more chaotic in front of the American people, in front of the press. Donald Trump lost his composure. If you ask me, Zelensky stood his ground. Zelensky refused to be intimidated. He refused to be bullied. And the whole thing, Donald Trump was saying his country that he's at the brink of starting a World War III, and the report is that he got kicked out of the White House. Okay, Zelensky, once he returned to Europe, I started to see some European videos where European countries are pledging support. Finland, Denmark, Poland, those other European countries are pledging real-time support to Zelensky, you know. But for Donald Trump to have taken that posture and for Zelensky to have not signed the deal, I mean, it now is making me go to my line of thought, what I really wanted to discuss on this video, which is about policy change. Policy and policy change. You see, the American foreign policy as at 3 4 months ago favored Zelensky. But the today foreign policy, the today American foreign policy is against Zelensky. So it is even about more of American internal politics where the Democrats have a stand and the Republicans have a stand. Now it is about the bitterness Donald Trump is having towards Joe Biden. Like it's like Donald Trump has not moved past the Joe Biden administration. It seems everything that is being done now, they are checking, they are auditing, they are like what Donald Trump right now is doing with Elon Musk, cutting the aid budget, suspending USAID, just doing everything more like they are doing everything to spite the Joe Biden arm of government, that is the Democrats and everything. So to me, if you ask me, Zelensky is suffering from policy change, foreign policy change. There's a sudden change, there's a sudden U-turn in foreign policy towards Ukraine. Ukraine was in a position where he had Joe Biden on his side. He had all of a majority of Europe on his side. Now Ukraine has now come to be on a side where he does not have Donald Trump on his side. So this will change the whole dynamics. It will change the whole dynamics going forward into 2025. We're just in early March. We have to see how the month of March is going to play out. Already the war in Ukraine has lasted 3 years. And it has lasted this long because of the support Ukraine has been getting from the West and Europe. Now, if the West is giving a different posture that it's not going to be supporting again, then it means Ukraine and Europe have been let alone. Then it means we have a stronger Russia. We have to monitor this thing because these are things that affect our everyday life, whether you like it or not. If you listen to Donald Trump said you don't have cards. The cards you are playing are not right for you. You are going to have more people in your country killed. You are playing with World War III. For Donald Trump to have gotten that infuriated and spoken about World War III, there's intel that the president has. Ukraine, on the other side, is saying they want security guarantees. They want to join NATO. They want more military. Everybody is just, I know, agree. We have to monitor this development.